Hi. So in this video, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the narcissist smear campaign, why they carry out the smear campaign, and the effect that it's meant to have on the person who they're smearing, the object of the smear campaign. So if you've known any narcissists in your life, you probably would have realized that they have this obsessive need to feel in control. You know, in control of many things, whether it's being in control of themselves, in control of other people, and importantly, in control of perceptions that people have of them, and also perceptions that people have of other people. So if you were in a relationship with a narcissist, or if you were involved with a narcissist in some capacity, maybe a family member, maybe a close coworker, amongst other types of settings, if if the narcissist expected something from you in whatever relationship capacity you were in, and let's say for some time they felt that they've controlled the rhythm of the relationship dynamic, but if you do something to basically show the narcissist that they no longer have control over you, maybe you break up with them, maybe you got upset with the parent, you're moving out of the house, maybe one of your coworkers was doing something and they shouldn't be doing, and you told on them to somebody else. The moment that you do something that shows the narcissist that they really don't have control over you, or you upset them to such an extent where they don't feel they can regain leverage over you, in the relationship dynamic between you and them, they often resort to smearing your name, to starting a smear campaign, because in their mind, if they can't have you the way they want to have you, in the capacity they want to have you, then sometimes smearing your name is the next best thing. Because when they delivering a smear campaign against you is nothing other than an attempt for the narcissist to control other people's perception of you. So, for example, if you break up with a narcissist and leave, and you basically show that you don't care about the narcissist anymore, they have no more control or leverage over you. So sometimes they resort to the smear campaign, which is indirectly a form of them controlling you again, because they're trying to control the way other people think and feel about you. They might make stuff up about you. They might try to ruin your reputation. They might try to convince people that you're mentally, emotionally unstable, you're not a good person. Just make up stuff. They might just make up stuff about you with no grounding whatsoever. That's what they do. So with all of this comes together in the form of a smear campaign, which is like an attempt for them to control people's perceptions of you, which just goes back to the root of the narcissists need to feel in control, full stop. And that's what they're really doing. They're just trying to feel in control. And so I mean, you can see why the narcissist delivers the smear campaign and goes through that. It's a way of achieving some sense of control when they can't achieve it through other means. And for the target of the smear campaign, I mean, oftentimes they won't make it explicit to you that there is a smear campaign going on. They will often wait for you to start noticing something's a bit off. Maybe the people you deal with on a day-to-day basis are a bit more cautious around you, or maybe they're kind of hyper sensitive around you, trying to pick up on cues of whether or not what the narcissist said about you is true or not. Or maybe some people just started to shun you because they just believed outright what the narcissist said. Either way, I mean, people who the narcissist talks to try to smear your name, they will react in different ways. Some of them might just believe what the narcissist is saying. Some of them might, you know, take it with some doubt. Maybe they want to go see for themselves. And some people might not believe the narcissist at all. But you being the target of the smear campaign, you will often notice that people are a bit different around you. Some people might be a bit more diffident, more distant from you than usual. Some people might be trying to pick up on subtle cues when interacting with you to reach their own conclusion of whether or not what the narcissist said is true. And some people might just go to you and say, look, this person's smearing your name. I don't believe it, but it's happening. So whether or not it's made explicit to you that your name is being smeared, and it might be made explicit by some people, but even if it's not, you will feel that something's a bit off. And in your gut, in your mind, you will you will add 2 plus 2 and make that to equal 4. You will do the maths, and you will most likely know in your bones that the narcissist is trying to smear your name. The narcissist will know after some time of having spoken to people, trying to smear your name. They will know that you would have had exposure to those people and that you will realize something's off. And that's where the narcissist will, in whatever capacity of interaction they have with you, they will look for signs that you are feeling unnerved, upset, just kind of generally worried and concerned about whatever's happening, unbalanced, unhinged. That's how they want to make you feel. The purpose of the smear campaign is really to throw you off your feet, try to taint your reputation and make you feel helpless against it. And the narcissist will keep, they'll watch out for signs that the smear campaign is working. So if you are ever the object of a smear campaign and you feel that, somebody's trying to smear your name, just play it as cool as you can. Try your best not to show that you're concerned or worried at all. Because the moment you go on the defensive, that can backfire in so many ways. For example, people who are not really sure if the narcissist was telling the truth, the moment you go on the defensive, sometimes that kind of proves to those people that the narcissist was right. Or even if it doesn't, sometimes the narcissist will see in the background or notice that you're going on the defensive. And they'll kind of counterplay that to attack you in a different way. Because the moment you go on the defensive, you're signaling that you're triggered by it. You're triggered by what they've done. And you don't want to signal to them that you're being triggered by the smear campaign. You want to play it as indifferent, cool as you can. Sometimes it means you have to take a natural step away from people generally, which is fine. A few days, weeks, maybe even months. Not full detachment from people, but sometimes you need to do that. Just so you're not in that situation where you're feeling the pressure of the smear campaign. Because when you interact with certain people, that's when you kind of feel it. It's important to kind of dissociate and detach from that a bit. And you don't want to just detach from people who are kind of involved in this kind of, these rumors and smearing. So sometimes you don't want to just detach from it and let it be, because you'll be thinking about it a lot. But you should really focus on other things, whether it's work, whether it's some other activities you do. Just distract yourself. And if you manage to do that for a few days, weeks, months even, if you manage to properly show that you're not affected by the narcissist smearing, it's like a one-sided game where the narcissist is trying to talk you down, but you're not going on the defensive. And oftentimes what happens is the narcissist tries to increase the smearing or do other things to really, really drive home to other people's minds that you're a bad person, and they want to see it affecting you. But if it doesn't affect you, it actually starts to backfire on the narcissist, and they feel unbalanced. And when they feel unbalanced and they start feeling a bit of like a nervous wreck, and they continue to try to smear your name, people really do start to see through the narcissist. They always end up, causing trouble for themselves, digging their own graves, if you don't let the smear campaign land on you, if you don't let it really, really bother you visibly. If it bothers you a bit, that's fine. Just don't show it. Practice not letting it show, and practice distracting yourself, and just try to trust that the smear campaign will, it'll be sent right back to the sender, but right back to the narcissist, because people will start to see through it. And for the few people who don't see through it, who believe anything the narcissist says, they're probably not the kind of people you want around you anyway. But for the very most part, people will see through the narcissist smear campaign. if you just play your cool, do your best not to go on the offensive, do your best not to show that you've been bothered by it. Carry on with your normal, decent, good self, and that's your role, and the rest will play itself out. You don't have to make it play itself out. It will play itself out, and sometimes when it backfires on the narcissist, they've caused irreparable damage on themselves. So yeah, that's just a little bit on the reasons that narcissists smear and what they're trying to achieve and how you should react.